Welcome, everybody. Today is February the 8th, and welcome to this bi-weekly cert-manager development meeting. There are a lot of people here in the development meeting, so I'll keep it very short. Let's start with the first item on the agenda. Let's start with the 5-minute announcements and shoutouts. Maybe I'll start with things that have my name in front of it. So we have done a lot of releases this week. We have migrated a lot of stuff to Makefile modules, which is basically this new system to manage our makefiles and to keep them consistent across different repositories. If you look at the releases, you'll see Istio CSR. Today there's also been like CSI driver release. We tried to clean up the Helm charts a lot, tried to make them also appear nicely in Artifact Hub. So those are changes that we've made. I think, Ash, you might want to add some additional announcements, maybe?
Do I? We've been very diligent with a lot of PRs. I think one thing of note, actually, is there's a community contribution from someone that joined in a morning meeting relating to audiences in tokens when authenticating to Vault. It was a really smooth process. We're working on it, but it's basically merged and it's in. It's worth highlighting that because it's always cool. I'll provide a link for the document after that. I don't think I have too much more to announce though.
Okay. I see there's also a note here about the releases that Richard has done with regards to cert-manager. So we did a 1.14 release, 1.14.1 patch release, and now 1.14.2 patch release. So that means that there were a lot of bugs, but we found them very quickly and we tried to fix all of them. All right. That's it for the 5-minute announcement. Let's start maybe with a round of introductions here. Okay, so I'm Tim. I'm a software engineer at Venafi, and I'm also a cert-manager maintainer. I'll ask Maël to present himself next.
So we're going around with everyone. I thought we would new ones would introduce themselves. But yeah, I'm an engineer at Venafi, and I don't contribute that much to cert-manager anymore, but I'm still here. I'm passing over to someone else.
You're certainly the face of cert-manager at all the presentations, aren't you?
Oh, so that David, you can present yourself.
Sure. Hi. So I'm David Noyes. I'm a senior engineering manager at Venafi and a cert-manager contributor and maintainer. And I'll be talking today about one of my agenda items. In the meantime, I'll hand over to Ash.
Same story as me, engineer at Venafi, cert-manager maintainer, certificate person. That's me. Go Adam.
Again, same story. I'm Adam. I'm from Venafi, same team as David and Ash, working on the cert-manager and other projects. Richard?
Yeah, it's the same with me. Programmer on the cert-manager team at Venafi. And over to, who hasn't gone? Erik? Are we doing it for everyone or just the Venafi team? Erik, you go next.
Yeah, hi, I'm Erik. I manage Kubernetes clusters at Norwegian TSO, Transmission System Operator, so we are cert-manager users. I've been involved in this project for a couple of years. I'm coming frequently to the stand-up meetings, had some contributions. I'm mostly working on the side project, Trust Manager Approval Policy, at least for now. I'll pass it on to Arjun.
Hi, I'm Arjun. I work for a company called Scarf, which I think is to be discussed today. We do open source analytics for a lot of big projects, especially a lot of the ones in the CNCF. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
I'm Melanie. I work on Arjun's team over at Scarf. Like Arjun mentioned, I think David's going to speak out in a little bit. So excited to be joining the call.
Thank you.
And I'm Avi. I'm the founder of Scarf, and yeah, excited to jump in. And if there's any questions, happy to take them and join.
Hey, I'm Vincent Sabatini. I work at Kohl's retail company in the United States. Just a contributor to, I think I've done the OpenShift routes project so far.
And I think I'm the last one, so I'll round it off with just saying I'm another Venafi colleague on the team. I work mostly customer-facing role, but I like to work with the open source team because we tend to be looking at very similar or the same problems in different lights. I am not a good developer, but I do try to contribute things to the website and documentation, Helm charts. Yeah, maybe the things that people find less enjoyable doing.
All right. I think that's everyone. Thank you for introducing yourselves. So I see here a couple of items on the agenda. What I'm not seeing is something for OpenShift routes. So Vincent, I'm not sure if you want to add still something to that agenda. I feel like the Scarf proposal will probably be a long discussion. And I'm not sure what the priority of the other items is. So maybe let's have a small discussion about like what we want to do today still. So I would say we definitely want to talk about Scarf. Maël, I see 2 items from your end. Is there a lot of stuff to talk about there, or are these small items?
No. One announcement and something about the annual review. Yeah, so it's really small thing. 2 really small things.
Okay. Peter? Also a small thing?
Also really quick, yeah.
Okay, let's maybe start with those 3 items then, before we start with the Scarf proposal.
Okay, then. I don't know when, and I don't know when, but at some point our Google Workspace paid by Venafi accounts will be stopped, and we won't be able to record meetings anymore. I asked the person who should know, but they don't know when. So I would like to propose to switch over to Zoom. I know at least one person who will not like this idea. But I committed to saying that I would like to switch over to Zoom for the next biweekly meeting. Try it out once and see if it doesn't work. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm the one that objected, but I didn't realize at the time that we were losing our license, losing the ability to record the meetings in Google Meet. So I'm okay with it. Disappointed, but okay.
Oh, we can turn back to Google. And again, I don't even know if we will ever be losing our paid accounts, Google accounts. So I don't know. Next thing is, anyone else? David.
Hi. I know the answer to this already, so it's going to be a leading question, I'm afraid, but why Zoom?
Sorry, what?
Why Zoom?
Oh, it's because it's the offering that's the CNCF provided. CNCF only provides Zoom accounts for free, and we want to use more of CNCF paid things. That's the reason why. And they don't provide. I don't think they provide Google accounts. Anyone else? Tim.
Would just like to repeat what Ashley has written down, so I'll just steal his comments for the recording. But yeah, I agree that it's also a good thing for vendor neutrality. Right now, we're just using this Venafi or ChatStack license, while the Zoom account would be fully paid for by the CNCF, so that makes it independent from any kind of company that is participating in the contributions to cert-manager. So I think that's a great thing to have some vendor neutrality there too. So in that sense, it's probably a good change. Maybe the tool itself is not the best thing for everyone, but I guess we have to live with that.
Okay, it sounds like we're done with this one. Oh, there is something called Firefly's AI Not Taker, Pyros. The second item for me is we need to do an annual review because we're incubating. We haven't done one in 2023. Do we need to do one now? Or can we do the same as 2023 and not do it? I think Ash, I know you already talked about this.
No one's beating down the door asking for it. We're worth asking in the TOC channel and CNCF Slack to see if we need to do anything. We want to be proactive, I guess, but nobody seems to care.
My only proactive action was to look around in the TOC repository, and I saw that Amy said that they are trying to move away from this manual process, and they're trying to find other ways of doing the same thing. So okay, I think the decision is to not do anything, and I'm okay with that.
I think there are higher priorities right now. Graduation being key among them.
Great. And I'm done with my items.
All right, Peter.
Yes. So, for anyone here who or anyone watching who isn't familiar with the topic, there is an issue of around certificate presets that has been sort of highly thumbs up, quite requested. I looked at this again because it sort of aligned with some issues I was looking at, and ultimately wrote a tutorial which a few of you, Richard in particular, made a lot of reviews for, and I can't remember JSRF on GitHub. A lot of effort, but this new tutorial at least basically shows an example of how people can use Caverno to do what it is that they're wanting to do. I think in most cases, so I was going to update that thread, and the reason this was released with 1.14 was to do with a change in how we configured our mutating webhook that was made it not easy to do in versions prior to 1.14. So that's why we released it now. So yeah, any feedback is of course welcomed. Maybe in the future we'll look at doing some best practices. I think we created an issue, Richard and I, around what does the default best practice look like for certificate issuer configuration and policy. But yeah, just wanted to highlight it to people, and as it's new and came out with the release.
I think we were missing a shout out at the beginning for you, Peter, for working on this. So shout out to you.
Yeah, good work.
We can edit that in the post recording, right?
I support that. We already use this in our clusters. Since we opened Airbag to our end users on cert-manager, it was very convenient to add presets, defaults.
Awesome. All right, yeah, definitely check out the link. It's in chat and on the screen here. So great. Great tutorial. Okay, and then we come to our final item, the scarf proposal PR. David, I'll let you explain this.
Awesome, thank you, Tim. Would you mind linking to the actual Markdown file? Is that right? Can you see that there? I can post it. Be easier for people to read. Leave a more readable one in the chat. Awesome, thank you. So to say this being a reading exercise or listening to me read this out to you, everybody, I'm here to discuss with you all the proposal for us to start using Scarf to front our container images, not as a repository, but Scarf acts as a gateway to our repositories. As you'll see in the document further down, I can list the goals for doing this, the reasons why, but rather than reading out to you, feel free to read this at your leisure. But the main goals, what we're trying to achieve by doing this, is to discontinue using the name JetStack in all of our image downloads. Again, around neutrality and moving away for any companies behind the particular product. JetStack is, again, our legacy and a proud legacy. However, we need to move forward and we need to consider how to remove that name from the various places it's used. One of those being our container image name itself. Scarf allows us to use our own custom domain, which is another bonus for doing that too. Currently, we're using Quay or Key, depending how you want to pronounce it properly or not, to host our images. So we are able to move to our own custom domain there too. In addition to that, it allows us to move to another image repository at a later date should we need to. We have had issues with Quay in the past. If we choose to do so in the future, Scarf allows us to simply move to another provider should we choose to do so. So it gives us that freedom if we need it. In addition to that, we also want to have improvements over our observability. Quay doesn't give us all the information we possibly need because we are a popular product. We're limited in the information we can get back from Quay, and we want to be able to resolve that. We want to know who's using our product so we can best direct the future of that product to help manage our features better to suit the needs of the people using the product. So the more we know about them, the better. Quay doesn't give us all the information we need, but Scarf can help us with that. Scarf can help us provide that information, which we can serve out to public in a format that we so desire. So the proposal is to have a move to Scarf. That will mean a change to a new custom domain, which we would have to acquire. We would have to change our documentation once we set up the Scarf account and start setting up that new domain and path for our images. Change the documentation to match that, change a bit of code here and there to match that same path and domain again, and encourage users to move to that new domain. Further details in the proposal, but we have friends here from the Scarf to help us answer questions, and I can help answer questions behind that as well as the rest of the team if anybody has any. So at this point, I'd say it's open the door to any questions anyone has. Let's see, Erik already has his hand up.
Yeah, I don't know Scarf, but we are kind of in an air-gapped environment, so we pull all images through a Artifactory. Will this be just another container registry, or?
Excellent question. So Scarf is not a container registry. Our container registry will remain for the time being as Quay. So your firewall rules to pull from Quay will still remain the same. However, the metadata endpoint will be moving to the Scarf gateway. So in order to pull the image, you will have to alter firewall rules, which we'd have to document as well to allow HTTPS connections to that Scarf gateway to get that metadata of the image information, which would then forward on to Quay or whatever other repository we so choose at a later date. So new firewalls would have to be implemented by users to allow that connection out to Quay in air-gapped environments or secure environments that are mirroring these repos. Technically, you still can mirror from Quay already. If you don't change URL, you still use Quay. It's still there. So you still be able to pull from there, no problem. But we'd be encouraging everybody to use our new domain and path.
I guess someone from Scarf could answer this question. Do you have any experience with using Scarf behind a product like Artifactory?
Yeah, Scarf can redirect or proxy traffic to any registry that you want to put it in front of. It's all, OCI compliant and aware. But yeah, as David said, this is basically like another route to get to wherever the containers are hosted. So, if you want to go straight to Quay, you can. It doesn't really impact that at all. But if you were wanting to push, artifacts to Artifactory or anywhere else, you could point Scarf to redirect there instead. So it will seamlessly interop with wherever the artifacts are being fetched from, while not interrupting old endpoints.
Thanks. Just have to try it.
It's essentially a metadata, a proxy for the metadata rather than the image data itself. Image data will still come from the original source, the original container image registry, such as Quay or GHCR or etc. etc. Tim?
I have two questions. First of all, do you have a feature where you can rewrite this URL so that it doesn't have JetSec in it anymore? So it's just like cert-manager.io / cert-manager control, basically.
Yeah, and the known issues limitations at the bottom is where we start to cover this as the problem itself, and it's defined there, but we haven't had a solution. But that's what this question's about.
Yeah, we will have that capability. We don't currently. And maybe to just kind of give a really quick intuition there, most Docker clients will use the image name as part of the signature that it uses to verify the integrity of the download. And so if Scarf rewrites that name, it breaks the signature checking. However, there are I guess the folks at ChainGuard have actually figured out a way around this, and we are going to be incorporating that. We just haven't had the bandwidth to incorporate that feature just yet. It does make it so that you're a little bit more locked into the particular registry that you are redirecting to with Scarf, so it does come with some trade-offs, but we'll have more information on that once we actually get them implemented. But for the moment, the image name that you use through Scarf with your new domain will have to match whatever you are publishing to the ultimate registry with to make those signatures continue to work. Hope that helps.
Do you have an ETA on that feature?
It will probably be a little bit later in the year. Yeah, I don't have like a firm one, but it's on the 2024 roadmap for us.
So your recommendation would be to use a path anyways, because then we could keep this path, slash test stack slash something. We could use the same thing in our other registries. So it is a recommended thing to keep this path. Like we thought we could just get rid of it and just have the image name directly instead of having user slash the image name.
Yeah, so for the moment, if you're using Scarf, if you wanted to like switch from Quay to Docker Hub to GHCR like overnight, like the image names would need to be the same to make that seamless. Like literally, just update a config in Scarf and boom, the traffic has been moved over. So for the moment, we would say, yeah, if you're trying to, if you were, getting onto Scarf, we would say keep the name that you have right now, because that's going to be the most easiest to switch. Once we introduce this change, this new feature, you will be able to drop the JetStack prefix, but for the moment, that has not been implemented. There's still some technical hurdles that we have to solve to make that possible, but it is possible.
But it sounds like we may still have a little bit of vendor lock-in by going down that path from what you just said.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. That's
So
what I remember
would it
you
be
said.
just a better option for us to literally just obtain Quay.io/cert-manager, or move to GHCR/cert-manager, or something else to get rid of the JetStack part that way, but at least have a custom domain? Would that be the preferred option, or the easiest option? At least we can then use it as a load balancer almost.
Right.
If we needed to.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the easiest path on, and then that gives you, that gives you a lot more flexibility as you continue to make changes moving forward, is the idea. So,
Okay.
once it's on your own domain, like it's your DNS, you control where it goes, and then down the road, Scarf is not working for you, you're not locked into using us either. It's on your domain.
I don't think I understand. I thought I imagined that when we switched to Scarf, there would be a new domain name like oci.cert-manager.io,
Yep.
and that users would type docker pull oci.cert-manager.io /cert-manager/controller. Is that possible or not?
Not
Sorry,
out of the box right
maybe
now.
I missed something with your question there.
Maybe I should type it. So, what I'm asking is, what will the Docker images, what will the Docker pull command look like after we move to Scarf?
Yeah, whatever the image name is today, it'll be that, but with the domain will be whatever you want the domain to be. That can be your own domain. So,
and when you say image name, Avi, do you consider that to be JetStack/cert-manager controller?
yes, correct.
So not that I'm thinking that as the path to the repository.
Oh, I see. Okay, I think in the OCI spec they call just the kind of like org/path or what, everything that's not the domain to be the image to be that repository. So basically, you'd be able to replace Quay.io with your own domain is essentially what we're saying here. Yeah. So what Ashley typed in here is would be the new. Yeah, correct. And then, as we were saying, once we add the ability to do path rewriting, then you'll be able to set it to be whatever you want. But for the moment, that breaks signatures.
Right, got it.
So it sounds like the preferred option for us in the most immediate is to use Quay.io/cert-manager/cert-manager controller, or we could GHCR.io/cert-manager/cert-manager controller, or some other repository. And that would allow us to remove the JetStack, but still use Scarf without having to move to this new feature that may coming soon.
Yeah, I think for the moment, you can just think of Scarf as not solving your JetStack problem for the moment.
Sure, that makes sense. On the separate topic, go ahead, Tim. You finish the topic.
Yeah, I feel the problem with that is if that feature gets introduced, maybe a cool new feature, but we probably don't want to change our image registries or like locations twice. Would be better to kind of change it once and do it properly.
Well, this is the exact point. You won't need to do it again because in Scarf you'll be able to just configure this like at runtime, and it's just like a setting in an app rather than like once people are hitting if you're going to use crt.cert-manager.io, they're going to your domain, and now you can control the rewriting essentially. So you don't need to change things twice. What you'll be able to do if people are saying, okay, we're downloading, JetStack/cert-manager controller, you can keep that working and then introduce, a new alias to that same image, and that alias would be just cert-manager controller or whatever you want it to be. But this actually does solve this problem that you won't have to do it multiple times. Does that make sense? Or maybe I missed something that you were getting at, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, we still will have to change it twice in the Helm charts and so on, I guess.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you want to update the Helm charts to use kind of just whatever the official thing is, then yeah, you would need to update the Helm charts multiple times. But the nice thing is that doesn't really need the user to do much. You just need to update some references at least. But yeah, I hear you.
I don't think we would have to change them twice necessarily, because we will have to dual publish for a while anyway, right?
Exactly.
People can keep on using the old charts, and then we just use the new images rather using Scarf.
And that
So we don't
deprecated, and we can.
Although you
set a
don't need to
time
dual
frame.
publish, that part is important. Or maybe I should make a note of that. Like we can, you can make more aliases to the same resource within Scarf. You need not publish them to multiple places.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
Another question that I have is, do you support like, not sure what's called, but maybe load balancing or like shortest path kind of selection, where if you're running in AWS, maybe select some kind of location in AWS to download the image from. Those kind of features. I think the Kubernetes image registry or image solution solves this for them, but they don't have like a general solution. Do you guys have that?
So ours is so our infrastructure is globally distributed. So yeah, if you do an image pull, through your Scarf endpoint, the user is going to get redirected to the closest data center to them. This is not something that's like user-facing configurable. So this is not something that you as a Scarf user would manage yourself, but it is something that we manage. And that way, if like our EU region goes offline, the traffic is going to be automatically failed over to the closest other region that we use in AWS.
And if we add, for example, can we add multiple backends? Let's say that we add GitHub.
Currently, it's just one.
Okay.
Currently, it's just one, but we have had requests for this exact feature about like kind of like if you want to publish to 4 different registries and you're like load balancing between them. That is something that we will be adding, and it does fit in very cleanly to our architecture, but we don't have it right now.
Yeah, failover would be a nice one.
Yeah, failover has been requested a few times, and it is on the roadmap. But currently today, you can only point to one registry at a time for any given domain. However, you can update it programmatically yourself. Everything in Scarf is drivable with our API, so you don't need to like head into a dashboard on our site to change it if you don't want to.
Nice. So we could do a down detective on one of our sites and automatically switch it over to it. Yeah, cool.
You could, and if you do, please open source it so we can put it in for everybody.
Nice. Any other questions? So we've covered some technical things there. Anything more about other open source projects that are using this? Anything about the observability?
Yeah, is it Linkerd that are using this already?
Yeah, Linkerd as well as quite a few other CNCF projects. It's like, yeah, I guess there's a few listed there. Fluent.
Yeah, I was just looking to see what domain name Linkerd had chosen and where their images were.
They do. Theirs is cr.l5d.io. They wanted to pick a real short one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Some of the other projects choose to use like a Scarf domain. Like we can give you one if you don't want to use a custom domain. So it kind of just depends on the project.
I think we do want a custom domain.
Yeah,
I wondered so then when I'd found the Linkerd domain hosted by Scarf, I went to it in my web browser thinking it would give me an index of all their images and information about those images like Docker Hub does. But
right. We don't have that right now. Also on the roadmap, but we've focused. We put a lot of effort into just making the gateway very fast and very reliable, and that's where most of the engineering resources have gone into. I think we've done a good job of that, but to your point, there are some of these other pieces that are still missing.
I also tried using Crane to list the images in their repository or registry, and it didn't seem to work. But is that a known issue, or am I doing it wrong?
Yes, no. This one is also a known issue. We know how to fix it as well. It's a matter of just making sure that Crane fetches the auth token properly during that. We need to basically fetch an auth token on Crane's behalf.
Yeah, that's what I got, an authentication error, which was surprising.
Yes. So basically it's kind of optimized right now so that any image pull is going to work exactly how you would expect, but the pieces around that are not built out. There's kind of just other features here. We're not really intending to build like a full-blown registry or registry panel, but we do want. Oh, good. Oh, Ashley says that Crane.
No, I wasn't. I guess I was doing it wrong. What's the other thing? Is it Crane Catalog, where you can list all the images in the registry?
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was doing Crane LS with just the path ending in link a D. I'm wrong about that, but it wasn't an unusual error message, an authentication error message.
There's probably a difference between tags, listing the tags and listing all the images, right?
Yeah.
That one's news to me. It's possible that we might have like a small patch we need to do, or maybe things are all working as expected. We can do some investigation on our side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the web-based going to the registry in my web browser is something I like to be able to go and find out more about the images and where the sources of those images are kept and such.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I guess that's a little bit of a usability issue on our side right now. That's really good feedback. I really appreciate it, Richard.
We could manage ourselves with a www or the root of cert-manager.io, as Peter says, domain rather than, and then the OCI part subdomain takes us to the actual registry itself. So we could have our own front page that has all that detail on, which we can update ourselves just as we do the main cert-manager page.
Also true. And then the other option too is you can also just set up other custom redirects in Scarf. So you could like redirect particular endpoints to like your Docker Hub catalog, or sorry, your Quay catalog, or whatever you want.
Right. Okay, missed that.
Do you give any guarantees in terms of uptime?
We do offer paid SLAs. But within actually, yeah. So no, we're talking in the CNCF. Yeah. So we do offer, it's 99.9% monthly uptime, and then obviously like we we offer lots of just support as well when it comes to, we have a community Slack that you all are welcome to jump into and ask questions as you have them. But yeah, as far as uptime goes, we're at a 99.9 guaranteed availability for this. In practice, we do quite a bit better than that. And you can check our status at status.scarf.sh. Or actually, we're moving to a different status page. I can give you a direct link to that.
Do you have a live demo instance?
Well, you can just make an account and join it for free, and there's you can toggle like mock data that you can see in your dashboard and stuff. So you should be able to kind of get in and kick the tires. No need for a like specific test instance.
Got you. Yeah, I was thinking like the Acme Corp example, which would be very, very apt for the cert-manager.
Yeah.
Also, choice of status page, I recognize that project. I have some previous experience. It's a good choice.
Yeah, this is going to be our new, or this is the new status page that we're moving towards. So that we'll cut over fully once we've backfilled all the incidents and these kinds of things. But yeah, we're typically very open about, or not typically, we are very open with, what incidents happen, how we resolve them, how we prevent them going forward, and these kinds of things. And I hope that conversations like this are kind of useful to know what it's like to work with us going forward on this. This kind of thing is really typical. We're happy to jump into calls and stuff. But yeah, on the gateway thing there, you can see how, we have 3 regions that we serve the gateway from. And so even if one goes offline, we will fail over within a minute, of detecting that there's a problem in one of the regions. So you can be pretty confident that, if you use Scarf to distribute your containers, that it's going to be available. We usually are just redirecting, so we have a very small footprint on the overall pull. Keeps it very, very fast.
I think I have fond memories of the first time David brought up Scarf. We all started curling all of your endpoints for various images to try and work out what was going on behind the scenes. So I think we saw a bit of that.
So the gateway code itself is open source, so you're welcome to browse on your own. It isn't Haskell though, so yeah, maybe part that makes it a little bit more annoying to read if you're not familiar. But yeah, it's very good. High emphasis on correctness, and that's very important for this line of work. So
you can expect it to be functional.
Yes. It doesn't know IO. Yeah. Any other questions?
I kind of wish I did have a question, but I really don't. It just kind of seems.
Well, if you think of something later, you know where to find us. Feel free to shoot me or Arjun or Melanie an email anytime, or jump into our Slack, and we're happy to jump on a call anytime.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Cool. Thank you. Yep. So going forward, I haven't heard any objections raised. So over to you, Tim, to figure out where this goes next. Do we go to pull request accepted? What's the next part of the process?
All right. I don't know exactly. I would like to maybe. Well, I guess this can be merged, in my opinion, but I would like to see a bit more of a plan of action, since there are some things that we will have to do. For example, we'll have to get rid of this JetStack stuff, and I think we need some kind of plan for that. Even though it's not Scarf related, it's still something I think we want to do probably at the same time as moving to a cert-manager domain. There are other steps that are maybe more trivial that we want to do, like we want to register a domain, probably like a short one for these images, all those kind of things. Adam?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, action-wise, we need to get rid of the JetStack, which probably means we need to dual push to somewhere, which that needs setting up in our code. So there's a few actions around that, making sure we can set that up in our various repositories.
Does that mean we can merge the proposal and then we open up a new issue for implementation, where we can discuss the plan of how we go about doing it with PRs against that for its progress?
Scarf doesn't have any image mirroring solutions by any chance?
Not yet.
I don't blame you. The storage costs alone probably are not.
We only proxy where we have to appease the client that is doing the downloading, but otherwise we redirect. But yeah, we do have to proxy sometimes, and it is a big chunk of our cloud bill.
Right, great to meet you.
No worries, Avi. Cheers.
Any other remarks, questions?
So sorry, just so I understand, it sounds like there are a couple of things that you guys are needing to kind of think about and decide as far as figuring out what domain to use, figuring out what path to use, that kind of stuff. And then I guess maybe, David, we can follow up at a later time to discuss what else needs to be done from our end.
Yep. As soon as we're ready on that, we can connect on that and figure out what the next steps are on doing the Scarf integration for that. Yeah, no problem.
Sure.
Internally, we can figure out what the best next step is for this particular pull request.
And then just one small thing to call it is in this chat here, I left a link to our community Slack, an invitation there in case somebody wants to join it, in case somebody wants to ask questions in there. And then I also left a link to the open source gateway in case anybody wants to peruse through that code.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, great. So I think next we'll leave a bit more time to have any other comments, and otherwise we'll approve and merge this PR. And then next steps are to create actually a plan of implementation and start working on that.
Wonderful.
Seems yeah, okay, great. That's, I think, the last topic on our agenda. So unless anyone has added anything here, no. I think we're done for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining and watching. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Superb. Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you all.